Good morning, class 9 students. In today's session, we will be focusing on a grammar topic, and today's topic is modals. So, before we start, let's understand what modals are and how they are used in English. So, modals are special verbs. See, you must have seen a verb has three forms, right? And a verb is transitive, and sometimes it is intransitive verb. But here, these modals are special verbs. They are unlike the main verb. So that are different from normal verbs, right? So it is actually different from normal verbs. And they are never used alone and are always followed by a principal verb. So, in a sentence, for example, go. He went to market. So you can see that went is actually the principal verb, and it is used alone, right? It is used alone, but uh, the modals, they are special verbs and they cannot stand alone. They are always followed by a principal verb. They cannot stand alone like the main verb or the principal verb, and they provide additional informations about the principal verb. They are used to express certainty, and this is very important that you need to I'm highlighting it for you so that you will know what they actually convey or denote. So they expressed certainty or sometimes possibility, your willingness and your obligation. That's something that you have to do. Willingness is when you are willing to do, or when you are ready to do, or when you are ready to offer your services. And possibility is when something is likely to happen. And necessity means which you have to do. And ability, which requires your strength, right? So these are the list of models. We have positive models, we have their positive forms and negative forms. So we will study them. So first is will, and the second is will not, and it is also written as won't. In short form, it is also written as won't. And then we have will is the past form of would is the past form of will, and the negative form is would not, wouldn't. It is also pronounced as wouldn't. And then we have shall, and shall is when we talk about future actions, and shall not, shan't. And then we have should is the past form of shall, and then should not and shouldn't. Then we have may is which denotes possibility that this may happen, right? May not or mayn't. And then we have might is the past form of may, might not and might. Can, we use can when there is a use of strength or ability or capability, right? So cannot and can't, and the past form of can is could not and couldn't. Then we have must. Must is like when something has to be done. Which is which is mandatory, which is very necessary, right? So the negative and form is must not and mustn't. Then have to means when you are forced to do something, right? To say I have to, I have to do this work. And negative form is don't have to. Need is when there is necessity. You need to go to school, you need to get water. And ought to is like should. Ought to is like should. You should, when you advise someone you should go there, you ought to go there, right? So ought to and should can be replaced in modern English now. And there is also one of the models. There means there you do this, when you actually challenging someone to do something. And there not, this is the negative form. Used to means when suppose let's talk about a habit. You used to watch cartoons when you were young, right? So that's how we use used to. You actually you use used to show the past actions that you used to do, and now you're not doing it. They are not in your habit anymore. So these were all the types of models we have just seen. Now let's get to know, let's read the rule and understand that how they are used. So the first model we have used, we will be discussing, is called will, right? So the first rule for the use of model will is that it expresses pure future, and I think you are aware that will means something, an action that will happen in future, right? When we which express pure future, and with second and third person as subjects. And the second rule for use of model will is that, it shows willingness, your intentions. For example, I will do this, I will go there. It's also a promise. And intention, I will go to Mumbai. This is also intention, right? And determination, I will complete my homework. So this is the use of will. And then the third and the last use of model will is that it tells about the character, habit, assumptions, invitations, request, or instances. Yes, it also, we use will to show characteristics, habit, and assumptions and invitations. For example, you will die of a heart attack. It is future, right? It is. And the prime minister will hoist the flag. This is again future sentence. I will meet you again. This is promise. And I will need your help. This is willingness and intention, right? So this is the type. And determination, I will achieve, he will achieve his goals. So now you have seen the use of will in pure future, in a sentence where it shows promise, and in a sentence where it shows willingness, and in a sentence where it shows determination, right? And yes, characteristic, habit. A child will usually obey his parents. So so will also shows characteristic, habit. It means the child usually obey his parents. So obeying his parents is one of his characteristics, right? And assumptions, for example, he will be here at any moment. The teacher will arrive after 5 minutes. This is kind of assumptions, right? And the request is, will you go with me? This is request. Will you play with me? So that's how we have used the model will. So in all the sentences you can see that will is actually not standing alone. It needs the main verb, right? So the main verb in the sentence is go, right? It's not will is model, and they actually need main verb. And insistence means he will not listen to his teacher's advice. This is your insistence, right? Now the past form of will is would. So when do we use would? Obviously, when we say that I knew you would come, we don't say I knew you will come, right? Because the first sentence is principal clause is in simple past, so we use the past form would, right? So this is something you need to remember. And would also, despite the past form of would, it is also used to express past habits, polite request. Yes, past habits that I've already mentioned right now, and polite request. For polite request we also use would. For example, would you like to. So it is better to use would instead of will when you are requesting something, right? When you're requesting, for example, when you're asking someone, for example, would you like to have tea, would you like to have dinner with me, or would you like to go to a movie with me, right? So this is for wish, preferences, or an imaginary conditions. So now let's look at the use of would. For past habits, he would wake up early in the morning and go to work. This talks about his past habit, that he woke up in the morning and he would go to work. And past habits again, my mother would always make me favorite dishes, right? Her mother used to make him favorite dishes. So would and used to can also be replaced. You have to remember this. And now here it is used as when you request, it is when you make a polite request. For example, would you get me a glass of water, right? So instead of making the sentence with will you get me a glass of water, it is always better to use would instead of will. Would you get me a glass of water, right? This is more polite. I would like to see the owner. Again, this sentence, I would like to see the owner. This is more polite, right? I wish you would be here. This is wish. When you wish something, right, that won't come true, right? So I wish you would be here. And then I would rather, and preference, when you show preference, when you choose between two things, I would rather have food at home than outside. For this sentence, you actually we use would rather and then, right? So I would rather die than to live with him, right? And then preferences, again, I would buy a house if I won. This is actually a part of conditional sentences, right? If I won, I would buy a house if I won the lottery. It means he hasn't won the lottery. It is just an assumption and it is just a condition, right? Now shall. Now let's talk about shall. So the first rule for the use of modal shall is that it expresses pure future with first person object, right? Now in modern English, we don't really use shall, because now modern grammarian, they have actually they prefer to use will instead of shall, right? But we actually need to know. So the first rule for the use of shall, it yes, it also expresses pure future with the first person. For example, and the second rule is, the second rule for the use of modal shall is that it is used to ask for advice, suggestion, request. So like will, right? The way we used will. And the third rule for modal shall is that it used to express command, threat, warning, promise, assurance, determination with the second and third person as the subjects. So this is the rule you need to remember. Just that for example, we shall go to school tomorrow. This is future. I shall teach you dance. This is again future, pure future. And request, shall I bring a glass of fresh juice for you? But children always use would or could. Would you bring a glass of fresh juice for me, right? Shall I close the door? This is, you're asking for advice, right? And suggestion, shall we go to the market tomorrow? Shall we study? So it is also used for suggestions. And yes, you can also use will. It won't be wrong. You shall get a reward for your achievement. This is promise. And you shall go to your room. This is command. You can also use will. You will have to go to your room, right? So that's how you can use will and shall. They all, they shall win the match. This is again for future, and this is determination, right? And should is actually the past form of shall. For example, and this is mostly used to give advice. For example, should is it is that it is used to express duty, obligation, advisability, and desirability. And the second rule is that the should is that used to express logical interference, suppositions, assumptions, possibility, and probability. But mainly we use should in order to advise. For example, you should go to school every day. Duty. You should not be late for work. Again, obligation, disability, and again it's an advice. You should exercise more often. This is advisability. We should be at the office by now. Possibility. It is also used for possibility, and you can also use may for possibility. We may be right. He should be at the office, or he may be at the office by now. Or if he should see me there, he will be happy. This is probable condition, right? So this is these were all the use of should. Now we talk about may. When do we use may? When something is likely to happen. So it means we are not sure if this thing will happen for sure or not. We just assume or we just suppose, right? It may happen. So this is where we use modal may, and used to express possibility, as it is written here, possibility. And yes, you can also use permission for it. May can also be used for permission, like in school you use may I drink my water, may I have my lunch. And wish, faith, and hope for purpose. And for faith and hope, like may God help you, may you live long, right? So these are the use of modals may. Possibility, it may snow in the evening, right? It may snow in the evening, but it is not 100% correct. So may I go now? This is permission. I have already discussed. And faith, may God always be with you. And purpose, he is working hard so that he may get an appraisal, right? He's studying hard so that he may get highest marks. And might is actually the second form, the past form of may. So may means something is likely to happen, and when we use might, it means the possibility is completely, I mean, it is very less. In may, situation may happen, the result may come, right? But might means less possibility. For example, it may rain today, it means it won't rain. Less possibility, right? When you use may, means it may rain. Chances, we have chances, right? And also you use for permission, might I go to get the files, for permission. Like you use may I go to get the files. You can also use may. And guess, that might be the new guard. You can also use may and might for guesses. This may be his work and this might be his work, right? Now can, and whenever we use can, it means it expresses strength. Can means, are you able to do this? Can you lift a table, right? When you kind of use your physical strength, then we at this point we mainly use can, right? And in other cases too. So it expresses permission, possibility, and ability, and especially capacity. Like I've just said, can you lift the table, right? For example, let's take the examples. Can I go to the market? This is permission, but this is very impolite, right? Can I go to the market? You can say, could I go to the market, or may I go to the market, right? And possibility, anyone can be the thief. And then he can stay awake for 2 days. This is capability, right? Can you stay awake for and could is actually the second form of can. And same, the purpose is same, express ability, capacity in the past. And polite request also, you can also use could for polite request in present tense. For example, could you bring me a glass of water? Would you bring me a glass of water? Can you bring me a glass of water, right? So, and for capacity, he could run very fast in his youth. When he was young, he could run very fast. Not he can run, because it is past. Polite request, could you wait for him, right? So this is past form, but for request it can be used. If we had money, we could have bought a house. This is one of the conditional sentences. Means if he does not have money, right? If he had, he would have bought the house. And must, must means duty, obligation, necessity, something which cannot be avoided, a compulsion, when you are forced, right? So this is where we used must, and it is actually also used as emphatic advice. For example, you must attend Zoom class, you must watch the video from the beginning to the end. And for example, the children must obey their parents. Must, not should, must, duty. We must not steal money from anyone. This is must, this is not advice, duty. Obligation, you must follow the orders of your boss. Again, obligation, I must reach work on time. This is necessity, urgent. And compulsion, he must do as I say. Compulsion means when you are forced. Prohibition means when you are restricted to do something. For example, you must not smoke in public areas, trains and metro stations, right? And then you have emphatic, you must see a dentist at once. It means you have to see, your condition is not good. Determination means you must not go before they come back. And then strong probability, when something will surely happen, right? Chances, 90% chances. The students must be in their class at this time. Assumption, he must be 40 years old. You can also use may for this. He may be 40 years old, or he must have left by now. And for certainty, right? He must have left. And children have to is means when you are forced to do something, when you are doing something unwillingly. For example, I have to go to school, I have to go to I have to teach him and all that. I have to reach there by 9:30 p.m. It means, right? So this is kind of something you are having to do, something you are not willing, but you are having to do. You have to start working soon. This is advice. And need is necessity. Necessity means which you have to do. For example, I need to talk to her, I need to talk to my class teacher, I need to complete my work. And ought to, I think we have already discussed. Ought to is like should, right? Obligation or duty. You should love your parents. I ought to love my country. We ought not. But it is always ought to is always followed by a preposition to, right? Not, and in case of to should, we don't use to, right? So either use ought to or should. It's very simple. And there is it is that it is used at places where we need to show courage, right? For courage and for challenge. For example, I dare not fail in my exams. This is negative, right? How dare you interrupt? This is again, negative. And the courage, right? How dare you, right? How dare you interrupt us, right? And used to means, we use used to show our past habits that you no longer do. For example, I used to watch cartoon when I was young. I used to play this football. I used to play pebbles when I was, now you're not playing it. This is where we use used to. And used to can be replaced with would, right? I used to go to this school, but now you're not going, right? So this is where we use used to. So these were all the models, and I think you can watch the video from beginning to the end, because they are very easy. It is not difficult. They are not very complicated. If you will watch the video thoroughly and positively, you will surely understand it, right? Children, just go through the video positively and have a nice day. We'll do more exercises. You will receive homework and you will have questions based on models. So please do them. And in case you have any doubts, you can contact, you know how to approach me. And this will also be discussed in the Zoom class, online Zoom class, or in the Google Meet. Thank you, everyone.